I don't need to do this since Progressive Protects 24/7 is a pretty easy concept to grasp, but I'm going to stay and prove my point. Besides, there's a big tree branch over the roof, and I think it's planning something.
Progressive doesn't just offer a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, just not literally from Jamie. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Tickets on sale now for Christmas Nights of Lights at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Purchase online early to reserve your time slot. Reservations are required. Christmas Nights of Lights is brighter than ever this season, as they have added several new light displays to their show of over 2 miles of driving route. They're excited to reveal one of their most creative and colorful light displays, the Field of Lights. Christmas Nights of Lights is open nightly, all holidays, rain or shine. November 11th through January 1st. They are reservations only, so purchase tickets at ChristmasNightsOfLights.com.
Hey, JMV, for the best in realty, Mark Dietel at Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. Online, markdietel.com, markdietel.com. Today, the only realtor I would get involved with, for example, if I was selling off my property and looking for something new, he's got guarantees of which I'll get to in just a second, but I'll give you a great example of the greatness of Mark Dietel. Paul and Marcy here in Indy got married, excited to begin their new life together, but had an extra condo needed to sell. Mark knows how to get it done. Brilliantly did it just for Paul and Marcy, just like he will do for you. Guarantees an offer in 3 days for full market value, or he's going to list it for free. He's the best. It's Mark Dietel, Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. Online, markdietel.com. That's markdietel.com today.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard Air Dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. The Pacers' LA trip continues as they take on the Lakers. Tonight at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody who wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the Dickens. Double time.
Myles Turner. Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different today, different but exciting, because Monday Night Football is back in Indy. You guys are fired up, and I'm going to give you a variety of reasons why you should hang in and be fired up, because not only am I broadcasting live, I'm in Fishers today. Our Buffalo Wild Wings Blue Monday finds us in Fishers, 116 and Oleo, a stone's throw away from Geist is our location today. We'd love to see you up here. In fact, we have an autographed helmet, a Colts helmet to give away. We also have a pair of tickets to the upcoming Chargers-Colts game as well. So we have tickets to give away, and we have an autographed helmet. So we want to make sure you get in here and get prepared with the great food and the ice-cold Bud Light they have here inside the Buffalo Wild Wings location. Again, around the 116 and Oleo, basically, right here. I don't know what this is, guy something or other out here, but 116 and Oleo is where we are in Fishers, and I would love to see you out here. If you're not going downtown, maybe you're not going to the game, then this is the place that you need to be, especially in the Geist area. We would love to see you. Now, I will also tell you this. I got a couple of things to give away beyond this, too. And this is from my friend Kyle Kinnett of BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. On the fly, I am going to, if Kyle reminds me, and by the way, Kyle Udemark is back. We'll get to Kyle in just a second after his vacation. But I'm going to try to do this on the fly so some of you that are going down will be able to participate in the best tailgate known to man, the Colts VIP tailgate, before the start of this game later on tonight, because as you probably noticed, there will be a great deal of excitement there. So I'm going to try to give those away on the fly to some of you so you can get yourselves in pregame before the Monday Night Football game itself. And there is no doubt there is a great deal of suspense. And I know, because I feel you. I know that you're saying there is no way in the world this team is going to make the postseason. No way this. No, well, I agree. But you go into this game, and here's the difference. The difference is if you go in and you lose tonight, then you're done. You're absolutely, positively, without question, you're done. Now, if you go in and do what you should do at home against, I'm sorry, a bad Pittsburgh team, even though the Colts are also a bad team, but if you do what you should be able to do on Monday Night Football, I mean, everybody around here has cried about Monday Night Football forever. Oh, Monday Night Football, get Monday Night Football here. So everybody needs to bring it, including this football team. Because this football team this season has been much more of a letdown from top to bottom than it has been anything that would still keep your interest if they were to lose, which basically they're done. If they win, then they're still at least mathematically, don't ask me to do the mathematics because I'm not, mathematically alive. At least you can still talk about it. But if they lose, I mean, come on. I know where you are with this team, and I know that this lengthy Thanksgiving break probably didn't do too much for you. But the fact remains that you have Pittsburgh in town. You haven't beaten them since I worked at a different radio station. You haven't beaten them since the guy that runs the team right now was actually playing for the team back then. And really, when you look at it against the Steelers, it has been a clown show. It has been a clown show in the past because this team, and I told Tony Katz this on WIBC this morning when I was on, I said they have lost. Actually, maybe it had been Hagan last night I told this to. I can't remember. It might have been Hagan on Fox 59. I said they have lost in a variety of ways. They've actually had to sit back and think of ways to screw this up against this Steelers team, and it would just be nice. Even in a season where most of you have lost hope, it would be nice to go ahead and try to bring something back and beat a Steelers team when you really should beat a Steelers team, not jack around and screw around until late and lose it late. When you think about this team, you go back to that game against the Eagles, a double-digit lead for the second consecutive week. They weren't able to finish. The Colts, 8 one-score games this season. 8 one-score games. 3-4-1 in those games. They've lost 2 games by 1 point. This team was like me back in the 90s, completely unable to close. It'd be nice if they would do it against a team that in a variety of ways, in so many fashions, has done them in. Seriously, you can go back to look at Brian Hoyer, Vinatieri, all this different stuff has factored in to this team screwing around and finding a way to lose for the most part against this Steeler team led by Mike Tomlin. So you're saying, listen, this Pittsburgh team has been pretty bad. There's no doubt about that. But so is this Colts team. Here's what this Pittsburgh team brings to the table that I'd be concerned about above all else. And that is what the Colts have done horrifically this season. And that is protect the passer. And protect the pass, really in a variety of ways. And there are a lot of people we can blame for this. The coaching staff, first and foremost, you can blame them for the decisions that were made to give or to bring us to this point with the personnel and how they have dealt with knowing that this personnel is completely inadequate and not ever giving any help to that personnel. I'll give you a great example. So how long are we going to go tonight before Bernard Ryman, who's a rookie, continues to get worked over and worked over and worked over before they give the guy a little bit of help? Are they going to have to give help on the other side? They're going to have to give help to the other side at right tackle as well. I mean, they have edge rushers that will scare you. In fact, the next 2 weeks, edge rushing and getting after the quarterback, that should scare a team like the Colts, given how bad this team has played, especially in that position in mind this season. I'm not trying to give you any false hope. I'm just trying to tell you that it's about time. And no, it's not like the stars are aligning, because if the stars were aligning, the Colts would actually be good. The Colts would actually give themselves an opportunity in this season or play much better to this point. There's no stars aligning, but this Pittsburgh team on the road here for the first time in what feels like forever should be a team that you should have a legitimate chance to beat. But we know this, and this is to be true. This Colts team has found a myriad of reasons and ways to maneuver about to screw themselves this season. And that is yet another reason why you look at it and you go, all right, you're trying to say that there's a little bit of hope, and that's why you're a non-believer. And for that, I don't blame you. At some point, this team is going to have to give you a little bit to think about, a little bit more than the Raiders to think about, a little bit of a reason to believe, and it has been fleeting this season. Not nearly enough to do it. But again, Monday night, and again, everybody's been crying about a Monday nighter and primetime games. Here you go. I am disappointed. One of these days, I want to see a Manning cast, and I feel myself as a huge promoter of the Manning cast because I do enjoy it. Now, I don't know if I enjoy it as much now as I did when it was new, and this is kind of how we are, right? I mean, you guys all pretty much think I suck now, but man, when I first started, oh yeah, great. Now whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm still as invested as I once was, but to me, if I'm going to watch something on Monday night, it's going to be that. And at some point, I would love to see the brothers Manning do a Colts game. And I know the reasons why. I'm sure Peyton Manning doesn't want to do a Colts game. And maybe when the schedule came out, he didn't want to have to be critical of Frank Reich, a guy that he had a great deal of input in that decision-making to bring Frank Reich here, and things weren't going well. And then you saw the season dissolve in the fashion in which it did. And, you know, for the first time ever, Jim Irsay made a change during the season. I'm telling you, though, can you imagine if you had the Manning cast tonight and you had, you know, the former center as the interim head coach of the team where stardom was found for the quarterback, a future Hall of Famer, where a Super Bowl was won, where you had 2 Super Bowl appearances, where everybody leans back, including the owner, and views it as the absolute golden era, as to one of the chief reasons why, you know, the interim head coach and Jeff Saturday is the interim head coach right now, who either is trying to prove himself in that capacity or in some other capacity right now. And that is missing. One of these days I would love it, but especially tonight, when there's not a great deal, it's not a complete pride game. All right, there's still a little something on the line, don't get me wrong. I mean, who knows? This season has been weird the way that it is anyway. I mean, hell, yesterday you saw the Seahawks, some dude celebrating. Was it Darrell Taylor that ran out from the sideline and then kind of acted like he was just a party, wanted to blend in like he was actually on the field. And the great part about it is the officials completely missed it. My man just runs off. And I look back at that play yesterday, I'm thinking, why is that not tried more? Why don't they try that more? Just run somebody off the sideline in there really quick. See if the officiating notices it. But seriously, it's more than prideful tonight. Don't get me wrong. Man, would it be that much better if there was actually a Manning cast going on now? I know that locally, and I really care about the radio. I want you to listen to the radio aspect of this. And the radio aspect is going to be on 97.1 Hank FM. I will, with this show, and then at 5:30, the Colts pregame huddle, we will take you there. But game time-wise, you're going to hear this on Hank FM. You're here. Actually, it's on Hank FM anyway. It's on 97.1 anyway, but you're going to hear it tonight on Hank FM because on this station later on this evening, of course, the Pacers, the second of 2 in what used to be known as the Staples Center. It's crypto something or other now. What is it now, Zach? Crypto Magnesia, Pepto-Bismol Arena is what it is now. They got the second of 2 yesterday afternoon. I don't know if the fellas just got off the plane, loaded on the bus, and went directly there, but that's exactly how they looked. But when you have to play against Wilt Chamberlain Zubats, you know that's problematic, is what we witnessed last night, which was pretty funny. Actually, it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny for me, but Zubats went all Wilt Chamberlain numbers, and there you have it. The bad day. But no, the second of two in L.A. for the Pacers coming up later on tonight, and you can hear that right here, 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. I just want to make sure everybody knows where these games are for you coming up later on tonight. Got to make sure that you're a part of it, both this for the Colts on 97.1 Hank FM. Again, that's after us. I will take you to the coverage on 97.1 Hank FM. And then, obviously, with the Pacers, 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Pacers and the Lakers. Last check, I believe, LeBron James is playing tonight, but the question mark is Anthony Davis. The second of 7, what is a historic Western Road swing of the better part of 2 weeks for the Pacers coming up later on tonight. And frankly, as much love as we've given this team that I guess to most has been surprising, people say all the time, oh, you owe us an apology or whatever. Fat chance you're ever going to get that. But I think the Pacers do owe the fans a little bit better of a performance, certainly tonight, than what you witnessed yesterday afternoon against the L.A. Clippers. No Kawhi Leonard, no Paul George, and the blue and gold, surprising or not, got absolutely worked over. And worked over by Zubats. They got Zubatsed yesterday afternoon in Southern California. So, again, 97.1 Hank FM for the game time right here. That's Matt Taylor, Rick Venturi, and Lara Overton right here, which follows me here on this show, 5:30 until 7:30. That's the Colts pregame huddle. That's where you're going to find us up until game time. 97.1 Hank FM is where you can hear the Steelers and the Colts right here. And then, of course, you get the Pacers and the Lakers from L.A. coming up later on tonight on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. All right, 239-1070 is the number. Great to see you. I'd love to see you guys jump in on me regarding this Monday night game, expectations for it, how you view it. I mentioned that it's a more than just pride type of game. But I want to dive into that and some of the ways you can look at it, because I think with a loss at home tonight, this goes from highly disappointing to a blank show type of season. Because you look at the Cowboys, you look at the Chargers, arguably the Vikings, whatever the Giants are going to look like still on the schedule. This goes from, however you want to look at it, this goes from highly disappointing to a blank show. And with the win, what it does is it's not going to reaffirm total belief in this team. But at the same time, at least it's going to give you a little bit of hope. And with this team, you've been riding hope for a long time. You know that ultimately you're going to get let down, but at least it will prolong some hope. Some hope for you with the remainder of the season. So we'll talk about that coming up. Hey, a quick shout out to Matt Painter and the Boilermakers, and a quick shout out to Jeff Brom and the Boilermakers. First with football. And this is where I'm going to give you something coming up a little bit later on with Kyle Kinnett and our friends at the Bullseye Event Center. So you saw on Friday, Iowa screwed the pooch, as many of us thought Iowa would do, at home against Nebraska, opened up the door wide. And the Boilermakers, outside of not a great football first half in the old Oak and Bucket game down in Bloomington, took advantage of IU in the second half. Dexter Williams, the quarterback that went down, certainly had a great deal to do with that, but more than likely they were going to take advantage of this IU team anyway, so they move on. And how about that? Purdue, football-wise, is playing in the Big Ten title game. Honestly, I don't care. If I'm a Purdue fan, I don't care if they get worked. You watch Michigan and Ohio State on Saturday. Michigan showed me a level of offense I thought that we would not see from them. I expected that level of offense from Ohio State. I expect that big play capability from that Buckeye offense. And, man, you got that from Michigan. So they're probably, for Purdue, is no worse time in the world to have to play Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. But you know what? That doesn't matter whatsoever. Because what are you going to do? You're going to roll into Indy, coming up on Saturday. You're going to roll the dice and take your chances on Saturday night. Who cares? Just want to give yourself an opportunity. You work your ass off the entire year to get an opportunity like this. So who cares? They may get worked. They may get blown off the field, but who cares? Took advantage of it so far, and we'll see what they'll do coming up on Saturday. And by the way, Kyle, something else you need to remind me of over the course of this show. They're having a party at the Bullseye Event Center. This is a party before the Big Ten title game coming up on Saturday. So what time is that game? Is that an 8 o'clock start, right? So we're going to fire this bad boy up, Kyle, at around 5 p.m. at the Bullseye Event Center. All you can eat, all you can drink, the same pregame party, but they're going to do it for the Boilermakers and the Wolverines. And if you're a Boilermaker fan, for example, and you're going to this game and you want to party, all week long, including today, I am the place for you to party. I've got your pregame festivities coming up thanks to Kyle Kinnett and the Bullseye Event Center. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com. It's kind of the same thing you're going to see later on tonight before the Colts game, right? But it's going to be for that Big Ten title game. So I've got passes, not just today, but all week long for you, Boilermaker fans, or maybe even Michigan fans, to all come together and have yourself a pregame party beyond belief coming up on Saturday. I believe the doors will open at around 5 p.m. on Saturday, and then obviously you guys can party it up until you cross the street and go over to Lucas Oil Stadium for that Big Ten title game. But no, a shout-out to the Boilermaker football program. And let me tell you this, Matt Painter and the Boilermaker basketball program, and I know that you've heard this from me, and I know you've heard this from others. And again, I and they don't matter either. I've watched enough Gonzaga to know that there's no way Gonzaga is as good as they have been. Doesn't matter. You've watched enough Duke to know that Duke wasn't what Duke certainly was with Banchero and Mark Williams, among others, a year ago. You know what? Doesn't matter. Because there is nobody, and I mean nobody in college basketball. I feel secure because I've watched so much over the past 4 days plus to tell you that nobody is playing at the level right now better than Matt Painter's team. I mean, nobody. Individually, collectively, and I know you want to be playing this way when it truly does matter at the end of the Big Ten regular season and then into the month of March. And I know I have a lot of Boilermaker fans saying, oh, I don't want to fall in love with this because I'm afraid I'm going to get St. Petered. All right, don't worry about being St. Petered. Go with the flow of what you've seen right now. And what you have seen in the past week is the best team in college basketball. That's what you've seen. I know Virginia. I know easy. I know Virginia. But what you have seen is the best team in college basketball. Long way to go. You're not going to get any awards. They're not going to hand out any rings like they do in youth sports right now. But you have to feel good if you're a Boilermaker fan about a team that has an individual guy in Zach Edey playing at that level, and then collectively, both he and people around him. It just seems like that right now they have an answer at every position of need. They have an answer. And who knows how that's going to hold out. And other teams may step up. Other teams may step up and be different. I mean, maybe at the end of it all, Gonzaga may look a lot better. I just don't think Gonzaga is going to look a lot better with the supporting cast for Drew Timme. They don't have enough around them right now. They lost a lot as well. You know, Duke is probably going to get better. But, man, there is no team playing better collectively than what you saw in the Boilermakers. And here's to hoping that continues. You talk about the Pacers being fun to watch. Talk about the Pacers being fun to watch, being enjoyable to watch, really enjoy playing with one another. You truly don't know if they do enjoy playing with one another. It's just what you see. That's what we believe, and that's what you also see with Purdue. And maybe it doesn't last. I mean, maybe one of these days somebody's going to get mad because they're not getting enough clock. But right now, it seems to, puzzle piece-wise, all fit. that was as fun, as an enjoyable a 2-game span. And really, if you go all the way back to West Virginia, because that wasn't easy. West Virginia, they beat Marquette as well early in the season, but West Virginia, Gonzaga, if you stayed up and watched that Gonzaga game on Thanksgiving night, that was just some outstanding basketball. And then they backed it up yesterday, and it's not like that they just barely squeaked by. I mean, John Shire, and you're number one, you got to give him credit, I guess. He threw everything but the kitchen sink at him defensively. I mean, everybody was fouling out. Everybody on the interior was getting fouls, and that's probably what stands out to me. Like, I would expect a 20 and 10-plus game for Zach Edey, but I would also expect him to have to sit because of foul difficulties, and it doesn't seem like in these games so far that has been an issue whatsoever. He's just kind of going out there and playing. And I don't know if that's the fact that the officiating, adjust to a 7-4 guy or what. But that has been at times a logical issue that didn't seem like it was an issue whatsoever. But if you watched Duke yesterday, I mean, they're throwing a zone at him, little full court zone press. Remember a year ago when Purdue all of a sudden got pressed and there was just pants crapping going on all over the place? There was no pants crapping going on yesterday. And you have to admit, when Duke first started that and cut into that lead, that zone was helping. But you know what the Boilermakers did? The Boilermakers adjusted. The Boilermakers adjusted with their group. I thought that was impressive. That was as impressive of a 3-game span that I have seen in a while. And Boilermaker fans, you have every reason to be excited about what should be coming at you for this season. All right. Quick break, and we'll come back. 239-1070 is the number. I'd love to hear from you. You can jump on here with the variety of topics I have for you, whether it's Monday Night Football, the Steelers and the Colts, what actually is in the balance, hanging in the balance, if you will, with this team, the Colts, coming up later on tonight. We can hit that if you guys want. The rest of the weekend of the NFL going all the way back to Thanksgiving, we can certainly do that. And a quick shout-out to all the high school football champions. I watched the majority Friday and Saturday, and it was some high-level stuff. High-level stuff. All the way in. Lutheran here locally, Center Grove here locally. Chittard again reestablishing. I know that Whiteland was close. I'll tell you what impressed me about Whiteland. They filled the joint up. I don't know if anybody was in Whiteland on Saturday night. To me, they had by far the biggest crowd. That was impressive. Like, everybody in Whiteland was supporting that team. And what that came down to was basically, I guess, who kind of had the ball last between Whiteland and Valpo, because neither of the defenses could really get a stop. But no, shout out to everybody this weekend for what was a fantastic Friday and Saturday high school football state finals. Everybody here on the radio, I know Jimmy did a game as well. People on the radio here, TV as well, Greg Rakestraw. Joe Polizzi was doing it. Rich Nye was doing some sideline. Pat Boylan was doing some sideline. Just a job well done out of everybody. That's what makes Friday and Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend so incredibly special. All right, we are at 116 in Oleo on what is a Buffalo Wild Wings Blue Monday. With our friends at Bud Light, I've got tickets, Chargers Colts tickets to give away, autographed helmets to give away, and I've got some bullseye passes, not just for tonight, but for the Big Ten championship game on Saturday as well. I'll let you know when it's your cue to call in and win. Otherwise, I want to get your thoughts. Jake Query coming up at the top of the hour. Ray Fittipaldi, I believe, for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He covers the Steelers. We'll get a little insight from him coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. And remember, we bail for the Colts pregame huddle at 5:30 later on tonight. So 116 in Oleo. It is a Buffalo Wild Wings Blue Monday. Love to see you here. Love to hear from you. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Shout out to everybody there. The stream, the app, HD Radio, and 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Back with you next.
Hellsberg Diamonds presents the holy grail of engagement rings. Michael was getting engaged and needed a ring, but not just any ring, the engagement ring. The kind that when he saw it, he'd just know. So Michael looked around online, asked friends for advice.
I want a ring that's special. One that's, You gotta go to Hellsberg.
Michael went to Hellsberg Diamonds, where he found an incredible selection of beautiful rings, settings, and both lab-grown and natural diamonds, certified and guaranteed to be of the highest quality. He also met Sarah, a Hellsberg Diamond expert, who helped him find that special ring he was looking for, so that when his fiancée opened the box...
Wow, it's...
Yep, sounds right to me. Be like Michael. Find the engagement ring of her dreams at a Hellsberg store near you or online at hellsberg.com. And right now at Hellsberg Diamonds, take advantage of special financing offers.
December 17th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, introducing Indy's next basketball tradition, the inaugural Indy Classic. You don't want to miss this college basketball doubleheader, featuring Ball State versus Illinois State and Purdue versus Davidson. The Indy Classic brings college basketball to the heart of downtown, and proceeds support the mission of Indiana Sports Corps. Secure your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. Made possible by Indiana Sports Corp, Pacer Sports and Entertainment, and Russ Potts Productions.
A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to...
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
Sign up for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Come in for a free fitting, no appointment needed. The Good Feet store, in the north, near Keystone at the Crossing or in Greenwood.
Jason Bottom's Led Zeppelin Evening, live. An unforgettable evening of Led Zeppelin's greatest hits and deepest cuts. This Tuesday night at 8, Murat Theater at Old National Center. Get reserved seats now at livenation.com or oldnationalcenter.com. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening.
Hey, everybody, we've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident, there's a painful life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. In fact, some of you are dealing with it right now, and that's where the attorneys at Parr Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. Now, none of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by Super Lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. So even if you're unsure you have a case, give Parr Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experience legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parrinjury.com. That's P-A-R-R injury.com today.
Need new tires? Skip the long appointments and bad coffee. With Go Mobile Tires Indy, order tires online and have them installed at your home or office. GoMobileIndy.com. We come to you.
The Colts haven't beaten the Steelers since Jeff Saturday was snapping the ball in a Colts uniform. Now, Coach Saturday is back, looking to end Pittsburgh's 7-game win streak against the boys on Monday Night Football. Hear the pregame beginning at 5:30 on The Fan. Then, because of the Pacers-Lakers game, catch the Colts game on our sister station 97.1 Hank FM at 8:15. And follow the best Colts coverage at 107.5thefan.com. The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Prince hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. We are in Fishers today, not too far from Geist. 116 in Oleo, Buffalo Wild Wings. Blue Monday. I'm going to handle everything. I am going to direct this program and then the Colts pregame huddle. So I'm going to be talking with you, at you, until 7:30 tonight. That's when we move along down the line with Matt Taylor, Rick Venturi, and Lara Overton for Countdown to Kickoff. I've got a lot to give away, too. I'll reestablish what we're giving away on the air coming up in a minute. But again, Brittany and Zach have for you an autographed Colts helmet and Chargers Colts tickets we shall give away here on this Blue Monday, courtesy of Buffalo Wild Wings. A great place if you're up here in Fishers to watch Monday Night Football featuring the Steelers and the Colts coming up later on tonight. Before I get to the calls at 239-1070, let's welcome back, after a week-long vacation absence, one Kyle Udemark. Kyle, welcome back. We miss you a great deal. How was your time off? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, some good time away. I had my 9-year-old niece stay with us, though, so that kept me pretty busy. So I was actually kind of exhausted. So it's good to be back.
All right, cool. There's nothing like a vacation where you're more tired from the vacation than you would have been had you just worked in the first place, right?
Yeah, it's kind of strange how that works out, right?
It is. It always works out that way. Yeah, I'd mentioned this. Actually, I was off from Wednesday. Check that. I'm sorry. I was on Wednesday. I was off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that was the first 4-day stretch. I've actually been off and off the air for 4 days consecutively, going all the way back 3.5 years ago. I can't tell you if it felt good or not. I don't know. Like, I missed doing the JMV takeover on Saturday. That was weird, and you guys let me know how weird it was for you, too. I appreciate that. And I called in to WIBC on the Home and Garden Show and gave them an epic conversation on Saturday morning with Pat Sullivan. By the way, Sullivan Hardware and Garden on Friday was epic. Let me tell you that. If you're going anywhere for Christmas, looking for a Christmas tree of any kind, any Christmas gift-giving ideas, that's Sullivan Hardware and Garden for you. The Black Friday festivities was absolutely fantastic. Promise. Great time there to be had by all. All right, 239-1070. I promised some calls. Cody, jump on here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Cody, I'm great.
It's good. I'm going to call. I'm a big Hoosier fan, so I'm going to get to them in a second, but I want to touch on Purdue. So, I mean, watching them last year, especially at the IU game last year, looked like Jaden Ivey was a big part of their offense. And now that he's gone, phenomenal talent, he was a big ISO guy. So it seems like without him, Purdue is actually a better, more complete team. Would you agree that plays a significant role in what they're doing this year?
Two things that stand out. And one, Cody, you're absolutely right, because I think you get a lot of dudes that when you have a talent on your team like Ivey, and clearly he was that talent, you kind of sit and you watch when he has the basketball in different moments. You can kind of sit and watch him or prepare to watch him do what he does. And that's not at all what this Boilermaker team was. And I think also from the Ivy who played 19 minutes per a year ago, now he's playing 29 minutes per and having to split time. He and Travion Williams a year ago, never on the floor at once. When you get Ivy and First out there and they fit, I think that is just better for this team than the setup that they had a year ago, even with that incredible level of talent that they had in Ivy and a very good player in Williams.
Absolutely. I agree. I was at the game last year, the IU Purdue game, and, I mean, he puts on a show, but you could tell the synergy there wasn't as much just because, again, he'd take the ball. He'd go into ISO, the fans would make him mad, and he'd just go for it. The second question, I'm a big IU guy, so you're saying that you think Purdue is the best team in the country. Do you really think that they could beat Indiana when they meet? I think Indiana's a more complete team personally.
Listen, from what I'm just going by what I've seen right now. And Purdue looks to me at this moment in the college basketball season as the most complete. Would I give Indiana an opportunity? Yeah. I mean, I'd give a lot of teams an opportunity. I'm just talking about this moment with this team. The best team right now, as we sit here and talk about it, is Purdue. And, this is all going to change. It always has, and it always will. But as of right now, to me, from top to bottom, from what you're looking for in the best team in the country, Purdue not only looks to be that part, but they've proven it on the floor so far this early season.
I agree. I mean, you can't argue with the numbers.
Absolutely cannot. Cody, I appreciate the call. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
All right, 239-1070. By the way, the game tonight, 97.1 Hank FM. Once we go to the Colts game itself, that's when you know 97.1 Hank FM. And remember, 93.5 and 107.5 has a 10 o'clock pregame show for you with the Pacers and the Lakers from Pepto-Bismol Arena, which it was, I think, yesterday for the Pacers if you watched them play against the Clippers. I love watching the Pacers so far. I didn't love that at all. And when you had Wilt to Stilt Zubats out there doing what Zubats was doing, that didn't make my day any better. So Pacers bounce back, and really these 7, now 6 games on this Western road swing, and you got to take them when you can get them. We'll see if Anthony Davis plays for the Lakers tonight. He was a question mark going in. LeBron James certainly expected to play. Sean is up next at 239-1070. Sean, welcome to the show.
Yo, JMV, a couple things. I want to shout out to the Whiteland Warriors High School football team. One of the things I do, JMV, is I'm a substitute teacher. And so I've had the unique experience to watch a lot of these young men go from the 5th grade all the way up till now. So that's pretty cool. Also, Coach Darren Fisher and his staff, I've had a chance to work alongside them, whether it was a strength and conditioning program as a sub when I took on a long-term assignment. And they've always treated me with the utmost respect and kindness. So I'm very happy for what they were able to accomplish. Just fell a little bit short in that championship game, but very proud of them. Next thing is my daughter. I want to wish her a happy birthday. She's a 17-year-old track star I'm always bragging about on the YouTube chat.
Sure.
And so yeah, I am.
Hey, Sean, who are you on the YouTube chat? Sean, who are you on the YouTube chat?
Rogers.
Shout out to Sean Rogers and Sean Rogers' track star daughter right there. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much, JMV. So that's pretty much the gist of my call today. And also, one more thing. If you could for me, when other Seans call in, could you include a last name or something? Because last week I got all kinds of crap for some other Sean calling in right before me. And that really sucked.
Sorry about that. I know that was the Sean that called in and wanted me to push back against somebody that I actually agreed with. I think is what that was. So yeah. Sometimes you get a common name like Sean and John. We get wrapped up in a lot of bull crap. You know what I mean? Sometimes that can just happen in the world of radio. What are you going to do?
Well, as far as what that other guy said, the Colts are an act of God away. Not just a freaking whatever the hell he said, tight end, quarterback. They're an act of God away from competing. But anyway,
I'm telling you, it's not next year either, unless you're incredibly lucky. I mean, even if you do, and I think you have to somehow, some way, you have to draft a quarterback that you believe is going to be the future. I think that's going to be much easier said than done when it comes to it in this draft. And you look at what the Steelers are going through right now with Kenny Pickett. You can see that front and center. It's going to take a minute, too. And people around here, and I don't blame them, Sean, people around here are sick and tired of waiting on this group to get it right. Sick and tired of it. Don't blame them at all.
Absolutely. And it feels like the 1980s all over again.
Sean, I appreciate that, and congratulations to Whiteland. I will tell you this. As far as the 1980s, how do they say it where I'm from? It ain't that bad, because that was bad. But, again, back then you didn't care because you had a football team, right? You had a football team, and, hey, we got a football team, and that's wonderful. But I'm good, thank you. But back then, but now I should say, you get these expectations, and you get, well, this is what we're going to be, and this is what I expect as the owner. And you start talking about all these expectations and not just near missing and, oh, darn it, you know what, so close, but nah. When you whiff dramatically, as this team has, and you have found ways to screw this up, makes it worse. Makes it worse. Buffalo Wild Wings and Fishers, 116 and Oleo. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving with friends and family and a weekend. I just kind of hung out. I almost tripped the light fantastic Kyle yesterday. I bought it, but I didn't do it yet. I'm thinking about painting all the baseboards in my house. I almost did it. I thought, you know what would the Thanksgiving weekend be without me painting baseboards? Now, here's what I'll have to ask some of those master around-the-house renovators. Would I be better off taking the baseboards off and painting them, or painting them while they're on? It seems like to be more of a pain in the ass to take them off, paint them, and then put them back on. What say you?
If it was up to me, I'd just tape around them and paint them right on there.
I'm taping around those son of a guns. If I drip paint, then so be it. You know what? The drip paint in your house is a sign that work has been done here. Work has been done here. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Quick break, and we'll come back. If you're on hold, I'll get to you at 239-1070, query top of the hour, and we're going to get to Ray Fittipaldo, who covers the Steelers. And we'll talk about the Steelers adapting to their new quarterback scene, something that the Colts are going to be with somebody coming out of college, I would have to think relatively soon, certainly this offseason, right? We'll have to get used to as well. How it's going in Pittsburgh, and then what I'm most concerned about tonight with a team that the Colts should be able to beat. My biggest concern tonight regarding the Steelers with both Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and we'll do that with you coming up next at 239-1070. Live from Buffalo Wild Wings, 116 in Oleo and Fishers on a Blue Monday with our friends from Bud Light as well. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, Alexa, you want to go out with me?
Fat chance. Dog breath.
Okay, I was just asking.
If you want to do the smart thing, say, Alexa, play 107.5 The Fan.
Now that's smart.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, get double O Rewards points with your purchase. Prepare for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, John, for PAI, it's WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129. It is your real growing hair. If you thought about how you can get it back and you thought, hey, you know what, I'm losing it and there's nothing to be done, you've got the options. Real growing hair again with PAI, 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Open enrollment for health insurance is underway and ends January 15th. Eskenazi Health understands this can be a confusing process. That's why Eskenazi Health is here for you, to assist you in understanding your health insurance options and also help with questions surrounding Medicaid eligibility under the COVID-19 public health emergency, which may end soon. Simply go to eskenazihealth.edu or call 1-855-202-1053 to request your telehealth appointment or to get more information.
Football fans can turn a loss into a win with the king of sportsbooks. Just place a single first touchdown score prop bet on any Monday or Thursday pro football game. If your bet loses, you'll receive up to $25 back in free bets. This offer is available all season long. Wager confidently and take your game to the next level with BetMGM. Just log into your account or download the BetMGM app and sign up today. Turn game time into showtime with the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New and existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at SalvationArmyIndiana.org.
On Wednesday, November 30th, the hottest ticket in town, AEW makes the return to the Indiana Farmers Coliseum at the Indiana State Fairgrounds for its only live show of the year. AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage promise to be one of the biggest events of the year. Don't miss Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, MJF, I'm a generational talent, Saraya, the Revolution, John Moxley, get in the ring with me, it's dangerous as all hell, Ryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, The Acclaimed, everyone love The Acclaimed, Swerve in Our Glory, Jade, FTR, Top Guys out, Tony Storm, Wardlow, Chris Jericho, and the Jericho Appreciation Society.
And that's entertainment.
Darby Allin, Sting, and many more will be there live. Oh! Don't miss AEW Live at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Tickets make a great holiday gift and are on sale right now. Go to AEWTIX.com now. Card subject to change.
Hey, my name is John. I've got a great idea for you if you're thinking about putting your home on the market right now. Call the best. That's Mark Dietel, Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com, markdietel.com today. All right, so you're thinking about it. Maybe you just want to see what you can get with the market right now, or maybe there's even more like legitimacy to what you're doing as far as how your family is concerned with it. You know, maybe it's downsizing because kids are now out of the house. You've just realized now in the past couple of months since the kids went off to school, you don't need all that space. Check in with Mark Dietel. Or maybe you need a little bit more space. It's Mark Dietel Realty today. He's going to guarantee multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or he will list it for free. That's Mark Dietel Realty today. 317-755-4232, markdietel.com. That's markdietel.com today.
Dan Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, and I got to tell you, I see why. Since I started a testosterone replacement program with Affinity, my energy, mental focus, drive, everything is up, and the physical benefits are amazing. Check them out at feelgreatindy.com. Guys, you can improve the way you look, the way you feel. You can build muscle and lose fat. Affinity will give you the roadmap. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
The Colts host the Steelers on Monday Night Football. Pre-game on the Fan at 5:30 with the game on 97.1 Hank FM.
The Ride with JMV.
Nachos, lemon heads, my dad's boat. You won't go down because
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. 116 and Olio. Happy Fishers to you. That's where we are. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be not too far away because we're going to be at, right now, Portugal, and I pronounce this Uruguay, right? Now, where I'm from in GC, I'd be Uruguay because that's how we pronounce things down there. We're all over the map with pronunciation. But no, Uruguay trailing 1-0 in the 90th minute. They just put on 9 minutes of extra time in this. So 9 minutes to go, and Portugal with a 1-0 advantage over Uruguay. I'm telling you what, I've had a great deal of fun watching these so far. I have. I think the World Cup has been fun. On Thanksgiving Day, I kind of got all invested in Ghana, watching, was it Cameroon this morning, come from behind, and, you know, to get that draw was pretty fun. I know. I'm talking about draws being fun. And I guess you look back on it in what was a big day on Friday with USA and England as that being a decent outcome as well. But tomorrow's going to be a big day. Tomorrow they play Iran, or a flock of seagulls. Iran so far away, couldn't get away. They play tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and we're going to be out with you. I'll tell you where, and it's not too far from where I am sitting right now for that match coming up tomorrow. If it is what we got here, by the way. Let me take this extra dark, whatever that is, off your hands right there. Thank you very much. So it's a win and you move on. It is a lose or draw, and you head back to United States. Not happy campers whatsoever. There's a lot on the line for the Americans coming up tomorrow. And we'll be on with the Indy 11, and we'll be talking that up coming up here tomorrow, and also talking about a variety of things, including tonight's Monday Night Football matchup. You got the Steelers and the Colts downtown. There's been a lot of whining and a lot of crying about getting a Monday night game. They got a Monday night game, and now it is time for this team to perform against a team that, honestly, you should perform against. I'm not suggesting the Colts are magically going to go on this incredible run, but at the very least, what you do with a win tonight is you leave the sense of that hope with Colts fans. If you go out there and, again, crap the bed, don't play a complete game, lose it at the end, basically you're done. And there is zero hope. Then you go the rest of the season wondering what you're doing and how you're playing for next year. Now, some of you are probably down with that program right now. I know a lot of you probably are not. And then you get a chance to get back at a team that has owned you. They have owned you over the years and have beaten this Colts team in a variety of ways. So if you're the Colts, you take this home opportunity and you give it to the Steelers tonight. I mentioned before the break, the one thing that does concern me the most is when you match up the edge rushing possibilities, and maybe not even the edge, but just the getting after the quarterback up front capabilities of the Steelers. That is there. Whether you're talking about Watt or Highsmith or even on the interior with what they have, that is as good as it always has been. Maybe the offense isn't. There's no more Ben Roethlisberger. There's a rookie at quarterback. Now, Najee Harris hadn't been what people thought. Now, obviously trying to work in some newness at wide receiver as well. Fryermuth is pretty good at tight end. They kind of have a long-standing tradition. Every time I think about a tight end with the Steelers, I think every time Heath Miller caught a pass and the crowd responds to Steeler fans. So they got that prototypical Steeler tight end working for them as well. But no, defensively up front is where they bring it in a fashion in which you're used to seeing the Steelers bring it. And that is an issue, in fact, the Colts are going to have to deal with mightily coming up later on tonight. And a couple of ways you can do it. Obviously, you're not going to be able to find any more talent than what you already have. But it's not just been the talent. It's also been the fact that the coaching staff, for whatever reason, whether you're talking about Chris Strasser or whomever, decision-making wise, you have not given people that need help. You haven't given them help. We're talking about the left side or the right side, and especially in this case, the left side. So we'll see if they're capable of giving the help that's necessary, or if they're just going to let their old quarterback take a beating. And that's exactly what will happen tonight. He will take a beating if you're not careful. This is an incredibly winnable game for this team. And it's more than just pride on the line, as I mentioned earlier. I mean, there's a lot still to have interest, still to have hope that you're playing for. You'll hear this game later on tonight. Game time-wise, you're going to go to 97.1 Hank FM. You're going to hang with me on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan through this show, and then 5:30 to 7:30, you'll have the Colts pregame huddle. Game time-wise, you go to Hank FM. That's 97.1 Hank FM. And remember, tonight's Pacers game against the Lakers, back-to-back in L.A. this evening, that can be heard right here, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. That is officially underway with the pregame show tonight at 10 o'clock. That tip time is at 10:30. We'll get back to that. Some more Boilermaker conversation if you like. Some of you are asking regarding Tom Allen. I don't know what you're going to do about that. I mean, if it just wasn't so IU footballish, I wish I had an answer for you. But if I don't have an answer for you right now, they hadn't had an answer for it in years. It's disappointing. It stinks. But that's where they are. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later on as well. Jake Query going to join us at the top of the hour. Ray Fittipaldi covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He drops in coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour. All right, Kyle, give me a winner here. 239-1070. Number 9 is going to go to the Bullseye Event Center tonight for the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. I'm going to get you in the door tonight. 239-1070. Number 9 is going to go on me. Kyle's going to pick that winner. Number 9 at 239-1070. Jake Query, the morning show coming up next. Buffalo Wild Wings, 116 and Oleo on a Blue Monday. Bud Light's with us. We've got your chance to win Chargers Colts tickets, an autographed helmet, and we have some wrestling tickets as well for the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. That event is coming up too. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
School is in session.
Seth Greenberg, where does Indiana's roster fit among the best in the country, or does it?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does. You know what? Because, look, Trace Jackson-Davis is a matchup nightmare at the elbow and the baseline on the glass. I think they got some shot makers. I like their team. They've got maturity. They got a little bit of toughness. They're guarding people. I've been really impressed with them.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's John here for BullseyeEventGroup.com. This is the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. That's tonight. All you can eat, all you can drink before this Monday nighter. Steelers and the Colts. Game day experience made. So Kyle's getting a winner for that right now. But I got something more for you. In fact, Kyle Kinnett has something a little bit extra for you. How about a Big Ten title game VIP tailgate? Boilermaker fans, Wolverine fans, this one's for you. 3 hours before the kick on Sunday. You know the drill. All you can eat, all you can drink. You've got the entertainment. I think Skids is going to be down there as well. Bullseye Event Center. Here's what I want you to do. Reset the phones, Kyle. Go number 9. Boilermaker fans, I'd get in on this right now. This is going to be a great pregame tailgate before that Big Ten title game on Saturday evening. The Bullseye Event Center, number 9 for the Big Ten title game VIP tailgate. That is presented by my friend Kyle Kinnett. BullseyeEventGroup.com. Inside the Bullseye Event Center, title game time on Saturday, number 9 at 239-1070 is a winner now.
Christmas cheer is in short supply for our neighbors who are hungry, homeless, hurting. Today you can give them meals, shelter, and care with a gift to Wheeler Mission. You'll also provide addiction recovery, life skills, job training, and other vital care that transforms lives. Your gift is needed right now as hundreds of hurting people are turning to Wheeler Mission for help every day. Share Christmas cheer. Donate now at WheelerMission.org. That's WheelerMission.org.
Introducing Spectrum One. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds of 300 megabits per second, advanced Wi-Fi with best-in-class security and privacy, Spectrum Mobile with unlimited talk, text, and data plus nationwide 5G. Get it all with Spectrum One. Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for only $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com or a Spectrum store today. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Owner Danny Reinhardt says putting his kids in charge of more of the day-to-day operations of the business was the plan all along.
It makes me really proud that I know that I can turn it over to my family and they can take care of things, and I've got all the confidence in the world in them. And that's the legacy I'm proud to leave.
A great family-owned business, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. 317-745-4526. Reinhardt's your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, John from PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. If you want your real growing hair again, talk to Darren Andrews. Dial the number now, 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
On Wednesday, November 30th, the hottest ticket in town, AEW makes the return to the Indiana Farmers Coliseum at the Indiana State Fairgrounds for its only live show of the year. AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage promise to be one of the biggest events of the year. Don't miss Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, MJF, I'm a generational talent, Saraya, The revolution. John Moxley. Get in the ring with me. It's dangerous as all hell. Ryan Danielson. Claudio Castagnoli. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jamie Hayter. Eddie Kingston. Orange Cassidy. The Acclaimed. Everyone love the Acclaimed. Swerve in Our Glory. Jade. FTR. Top guys. Tony Storm. Wardlow. Chris Jericho. And the Jericho Appreciation Society. And that's entertainment. Darby Allin. Sting. And many more will be there live. Oh! Don't miss AEW Live at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Tickets make a great holiday gift and are on sale right now. Go to AEWTIX.com now. Card subject to change.
Hey, John here for Caesars Sportsbook. See you, fellas. Appreciate that. You want the best sportsbook out there. Caesars Sportsbook is it. They also offer Caesars rewards. I'll get to that in just a second, but your first bet risk-free up to $1,250. For example, Monday night-wise, you can do the Colts. As I'm looking at it right now, the Colts are 2.5-point favorites. Utilize that. Or maybe some of the other things you can with the absolute best sportsbook out there. Caesars Sportsbook. Use the promo code RadioFull. Get that first bet risk-free up to $1,250. And Caesars rewards are awesome. I'm talking about stays, experiences, tickets, and more. That's Caesars rewards. Caesars Sportsbook today. Open to new users in Indiana who are 21 years or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount. Return to site credit. Got to use within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. The Pacers' LA trip continues as they take on the Lakers. Tonight at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
This is a live show. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings in Fishers. That's 116 in Oleo. Buffalo Wild Wings Blue Monday, great food. You got Monday Night Footballs on the big screens in here. Yeah, you'll be able to watch it here, obviously, downtown. I'm going to get you to 5:30 to the Colts pregame huddle. I'll direct that show with the Gore Man, Joe Wrights, and Bill Brooks from Touchdown Town. That starts at 5:30. Remember, Hank FM for the game for the Steelers and the Colts on Monday night tonight. 93.5 and 107.5 later on this evening. That has the Pacers and the Lakers. Round 2 in L.A. for the Pacers. This time, the Lakers. That pregame show was at 10:30. Is the tip time. Paulie writes this: the question isn't paint your baseboards or take it off the wall. It's why the hell aren't you paying someone to do it? You know, I got some inspiration yesterday. I walked by, I was in Menards, and I walked by and I saw the paint, and I go, you know what? I think I'm going to paint some baseboards. I did. I got some inspiration yesterday. So I bought all the stuff sitting there waiting for the back half of my inspiration to take shape. We'll see if it does. But thank you for that great advice. I'll leave the baseboards on, put the tape down, and have at it like I'm Van freaking Go right here. Buffalo Wild Wings again. Fishers, 116 and Oleo. Ray Fittipaldo covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. Morning show, Kevin and Query, weekday morning, 7 until 10 a.m. He is Jake Query joining us right now. This is not quite, Jake, tonight on Monday Night Football, a playing for pride game just yet. And to keep any thought whatsoever of hope going for this Colts team, it is a win situation all the way around. How do you view this thing, or maybe better yet, for a fan base and an owner and an organization that has cried over the years because they haven't had a Monday night game, and they get one. How do you view that? Do you view this as a big game, or has it lost a little bit of luster on both sides because of the way both teams have played?
I don't think there's any doubt that the answer is the latter, John. And by the way, good afternoon to you for having me. Social media is not the end-all, be-all, but it gives you a barometer. I've seen a ton of people selling tickets, and for this morning, I mean, if you would have asked in August or September, laying out the game plan for today, one would have assumed that with the morning show that it was going to be basically a Colts pregame show and a morning extension, or I should say prequel to what you're going to be doing this afternoon. And I would say that 60% of our show this morning was talking about Purdue's weekend because, that's the big – I mean, there was obviously a lot that went on since we talked to folks last. But, look, mathematically speaking, the Colts are still in play for the playoffs. And I understand that so long as they're mathematically in play as professionals – they are owed to go for that. But realistically, does anybody see them, A, as a playoff team, and B, if they were to sneak in, somebody that can make any noise whatsoever? The answer is no to both. And so, they probably – if you're Jeff Saturday, you want to win games, probably, just for the obvious reason, right? I don't think anybody intentionally wants to lose games, but at some point, from a tactical standpoint, you start thinking towards the future. And I really believe, and people can feel free to send me a tweet and tell me that I'm wrong in this, and I'm asking them to actually, but my gauge or my sense from the fan base is that people have looked at this season moving forward as nothing more than kind of an inventory of what they have and where they are, for future reference, and I think people have written off this year. And that's the last place that Jim Irsay wants his franchise and his fan base to be. But I feel like that's where they are.
It's Jay Query, the morning show on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And as I mentioned this a little bit earlier, the louder and the more boisterous the conversation comes, especially from the top with Jim Irsay, about this team and the expectations of greatness, it seems like the more often and the worse things get as far as this team and organization ever living up to anything they talk about.
Here's the thing. Jim Irsay is a passionate owner. He's obviously, the kicking the stigma. There are a lot of great things about Jim Irsay being the owner of your franchise within a market. So don't get me wrong. However, if you really look at when they've had the most success as a franchise, it's been when Jim Irsay has allowed others to do the talking for him. And I don't mean literally by words. I mean it's where Jim Irsay has taken a back seat and let football people run the football franchise. And I've talked to a couple of people in the last couple of weeks that were around during Bob Irsay's era that have said, and I don't mean from the substance standpoint, I want to be very clear on that, but just in terms of involving within the franchise and meddling, if you will, that this is the closest that he has been to his dad. And his dad was very unpredictable. His dad, and that was fueled by the alcoholism, obviously. I don't think that's the case with Jim Irsay. I think Jim Irsay is fueled by an overwhelming passion to be able to offset what happened to him when he was a general manager, which was lackluster results by his own admission. And I think that he has just convinced himself, and I'm not saying he may be right, I don't know, that he knows more about the franchise, and well, certainly he does about the franchise, but how to win than those around him. And I think that he is getting involved in decision making, and I think there are people that are really hesitant about that. But I think that's what's going on, because right now the three most important positions in any franchise, the coach, the general manager, the quarterback, all three of those, nobody even knows who they're going to be next year. That's not a good place to be.
No, it's not. And I think the biggest point about this, and there's no doubt right now, if you're talking about the most disappointing team in the NFL, certainly the Colts are in the conversation, but Green Bay would probably take that honor in a landslide as of right now, following again another
Rams,
loss.
I said the same thing.
And I guess the Rams, the Rams could be because they're the defending champs. I just think with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and their overall record, they'd probably be there. But yeah, I mean, we could certainly debate both points. It just seems to me that the way this team has been constructed, and even more so than the patchwork they have done over and over again with the quarterback, the way that's been constructed, supposedly the path to these championships within the AFC South and long runs of the postseason or multiple Lombardis, that's completely broken down. And to me, there's no going back to it. There's no going back to, trying to all of a sudden revitalize this or breathe some life into it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Think we've seen the high point with it, and I think from here on out, you have to find yourself a new path.
John, I hate saying this, and we're all guilty of it, so I'm not necessarily trying to single out Jim Irsay. However, arguably the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL played here for 13 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
I think that automatically allowed the fan base, probably some of the teammates, and the media in this town to just automatically divert to thinking that it's not that difficult, that it's not that hard to climb to the top, especially when you went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck and immediately had success with Andrew Luck right out of the box, and you're right back in the postseason, and you're right in the thick of the conversation. I think Jim Irsay, by human nature, fell victim to what every fan of the Indianapolis Colts fell victim to what most of the media fell victim to, and that was that it isn't that difficult. And the reality is the norm is what you saw yesterday with the Bears and the Jets playing. Two franchises that are rolling out quarterbacks, so you're like, wait, now who's this guy again? When did he get there? That's the norm. That's the norm in the NFL. And in Indianapolis, we became accustomed to thinking that was the anomaly. And they are now finding themselves in the norm. And the norm is like a swirling pool of water, and it's really difficult to swim out of it. And that's exactly where they are.
All right, Jay Query joins us. I want to move a little bit forward here to tonight's game because as it stands right now, there is still hope. Some fans still believe that hope is there, and it will come to an absolute crushing and done situation if they lose tonight. This is a team in Pittsburgh that they have struggled whatsoever to beat basically over, more than a handful of years here, going way back. This is a game that they should win tonight. What is at the top of the list of things that absolutely has to happen if Colts fans want to see a winner on Monday Night Football against a team that has had their number and owned them over the years?
Protect the quarterback is numbers 1, 2, and 3, and that's going to be their biggest challenge, right? And then the other one is, but at the same time, I don't know that you need to score a lot of points tonight because Pittsburgh's offense, Kenny Pickett, you can't let him get comfortable. That's weird to say about a rookie quarterback who's still finding his footing, and I think on the year has 3 touchdowns and 8 picks. He's throwing to one of his primary receivers is also a rookie. Their offense has its own struggles. So you don't need to score a lot of points, but you've got to score points by protecting the quarterback or, for that matter, being able to run the football. Not like you got to keep the ball out of Pittsburgh's hands per se, but that's Indianapolis' bread and butter. But that offensive line, John, the same story that it's been all year long for the Colts is the big one tonight, because if there's an area where Pittsburgh is good, it's on their defensive front four and their ability to get to the quarterback, and that's going to be Indianapolis' big test.
Yeah, and people have asked me, all right, this team in Pittsburgh's bad. So is there anything that is a holdover from a regime that obviously is trying to transform itself from the past and now to the present? And the one thing that holds true is that capability up front of harassing the quarterback. And that is something that the Colts have given up more times than they haven't with this offensive line and this particular quarterback this season. I completely agree. Top 3 easily is being able to protect Matt Ryan, who not only struggles in being protected, but oftentimes struggles in protecting himself.
It's funny, John. We both just kind of answered 2 questions in one there. Because, to your point, when you think of Pittsburgh, what do you think of? You think of aggressive defense, hard-nosed, tough to get yardage out of. And part of that's just because that's what they've been for 40 years, despite the personnel changes. Baltimore falls into that same category. You think, Baltimore's got a great defense. Do they? I don't know. But, you think about Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and, the great players they've had. And I think when you think about Indianapolis, you just automatically assume with the Colts, great quarterback, high-fly offense. That's not what they are. But it's what we feel like they are because it's what we're so accustomed to. And I think that the truth is there. In Pittsburgh's case, they've been able to this year live up to that reputation. In the Colts' case, they have not.
Jay Query joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So the Colts have led, I believe, 7 out of the 8 quarters in which Jeff Saturday has been the interim head coach. Is, that just a coincidence, or is there anything deeper to look at this? I know part of it is a product of being unable to close games, which was here before Jeff Saturday got here and still remains. But is there a product of this that we see from Jeff Saturday taking over?
Yeah, it does feel. I mean, certainly. Now, is this going to be long term? I don't know, but certainly for some of those quarters, the offensive line play was competent, and it wasn't elsewhere. It struggled. Now I think it reverted back a little bit at times against Philly, which some of those games feel like now, like three months ago. But no, I think that and this is to answer your first question, John, about the direction of the Colts for the season and how it plays in tonight. Tonight, what we learned tonight is this, and that is that oftentimes when you have a coaching change, you get a jolt. Teams get an energy, and you think, "Whoa, okay, look, this is why they made the change. What a big win!" And that energy lasts for like a game or two.
Right.
But it's been some time off now. They've been inside the complex. Things are settling down a little bit. Life has kind of moved on after all of the chaos. So now is when we really find out who they really are. And so I think tonight will probably answer that question for you of, hey, is this indeed they're doing some things differently and they're doing it better under Jeff Saturday and they have more energy? Or was that just kind of a jolt for a game or two, or maybe even a letdown in terms of preparation from their opponent because all the chaos going on with the Colts? They didn't, they lagged back a little bit. And I think tonight we find that out. I do think they'll win tonight just because I don't think Pittsburgh can score enough points. But I think tonight, do I expect them to come out and look like a house of fire? I don't. My fear is that this is going to be one of those games that if you're living in, Mesa, Arizona, and you're like, oh, it's Monday Night Football, and you flip it on, you're like, really? Really? This is it. My fear is it could be an ugly game, but I do think they'll win.
I'm curious. Go back to the offensive line for a moment. Who you think ultimately, and we can look at Chris Strasser, and now obviously Jeff Saturday's in charge. Prior to that, Frank Reich. Why is it that they have so begrudgingly decided to hand out any extra protection whatsoever, any help whatsoever with key pieces on that offensive line? And we'll start with the rookie left tackle. It just seems like that they just put him out there and said, all right, either you sink or swim here, and more times than not, he's sunk. Why is that?
Because what other options do you have? And probably. I mean, I think the offensive line, and you and I have talked about this, I do.
And I'm talking about help. I'm not talking about with a starting position. I mean, they're going with Ryman, and we understand that. But you would think at times they would try to maybe slide some help. And I don't know, maybe that's just a product of tight end where you don't have anybody that's capable of doing too much as far as protection or added protection is concerned. I mean, you're not a team with a fullback. I mean, it seems like a variety of things you could try to do instead of oftentimes just kind of sit there and take it.
I don't disagree, but didn't we all have that guy that we grew up with that by the time you were like 20 years old, you're like, you know what? I've tried everything to help him get his life in order, and he's just not a bad guy, but he's just kind of a mess. I mean, I think there are multiple players on that line that it doesn't matter what combination, what backup, what help, what rotation you're going to get. If a guy can't play, a guy can't play. And I think, and then you have, in addition to that, and this is what I was going to say, I don't know if the personal tragedies are a reason for it, and if so, then heartfelt, understood by all stretch of the imagination. But I think that with an offensive line, much of the cohesiveness of a line starts with solid play at the center position. And I think Ryan Kelly's inconsistency at the center position has caused breakdowns elsewhere that has prohibited you from being able to, even with some of the different pieces and combinations you try, you're just not getting the stability in the interior that you need. Quentin Nelson's guilty as well. No doubt about it. They just haven't gotten any consistency from anybody on that line.
I think even beyond that, I think the coaching staff is on the hook for this, because it seems like that there would be a variety of things to try to do. And I know everybody laughs when I mention fullback, but you look at Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has nowhere to go. And it would seem like that trying to open up holes would be essential to help that offense, and it just hasn't seemed like that the Colts have tried everything. Maybe they have. Maybe I'm completely unknowing to it. But in watching it this season, it doesn't seem like that they've tried everything to help this offensive line. It seems like every week they sit back and they go, all right, well, with a quarterback and his veteran presence and with the talent we believe this group has, at some point it's going to come together. And either because of the quarterback or because of the offensive line group itself, it just simply hasn't. And it's been the major detriment to this team as to why they find themselves right now where they are.
Yeah, I think there has been, at times, just enough of a percolation of competency to give them a false hope or a false belief that things can be turned around. And I don't think they can this year, period. Yeah. I mean, to answer your question, mathematically still, yes. But I almost feel like, John, and you tell me if you disagree, I almost feel like it might be in the fans' best interest for the Colts to drop the game tonight. Now, I don't mean drop it literally. I mean to lose, to come up short tonight. Because at some point you got to rip off the Band-Aid and say we're playing for next year. We're playing towards building. But the problem is you have different people with what would seemingly be different incentives for that not to be the case. If you're Chris Ballard, you're probably wanting for things to be in the best position towards helping to build the next year and getting as many assets as possible if you're going to stay as the GM. If you're Jeff Saturday, you want to win games because you want to be able to show that you can win games as an NFL head coach and prove the doubters wrong. If you're Jim Irsay, you're wanting to stay relevant so that people are talking about you and you're selling tickets and you're getting season ticket renewals. If you're Shaquille Leonard, you have no idea whether or not you're even going to play next year. If you're, there are literally like all areas of the team, you don't have people that are cruising along at the same agenda. It should be that everybody's interest is the exact same thing, and that's winning football games. But unfortunately, I think there are some people that winning football games is of greater priority to where they are than others. Again, not at the fault of anybody, but that's just how things have fallen here in the last month of what's been chaos within the franchise.
Jay Query joins us morning show 7 until 10 a.m. here. It's weekday mornings on The Fan. Again, 97.1 Hank FM for the game itself. I'm going to take you to that point here with this show and then the Colts pregame huddle beginning at 5:30 to follow. Pacers-Lakers can be heard tonight beginning at 10 a.m. Check that, 10 p.m. tonight with the pregame show right here. 10:30 is that tip from L.A. Lakers and the Pacers this evening. Boilermakers all the way up to number 5. 24 to number 5, and then rightly so. And people will suggest, because a lot of Purdue fans don't want to get ahead of themselves because they've been disappointed before, but this has been, to me, the most impressive start of any team across the board in college basketball. And somebody had asked me a little bit earlier what I thought the difference was between last year and this year so far. And it's twofold. And maybe it won't last, but as we sit here and talk right now, as good as Jaden Ivey was, some would kind of get caught up in waiting for Jaden Ivey to perform his greatness. And the other thing, when you're Zach Edey, you go from 19 minutes per game to now 29, I think that it also has helped them team-wise with Travion Williams moving on. Because you couldn't play these guys together, whereas Edey could be out there with, for example, Caleb First, and they still play well together. Those are two things I start with how this team has looked so far. How about you?
Hey, two things. Number one, preseason polls are always kind of bunk, and if they waited until a month in to rank teams, Purdue's the number one team in the country because there are not 4 teams ahead of them that have, to this point, accumulated a better resume. But it's November. I get it, right? Number 2, totally agree with you about Jaden Ivey. I said it this morning. Jaden Ivey's a wonderful player and was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. But I think at times when he had the ball, the other 4 people on the floor saw him as a hell of a player that was a lot of fun to watch. And so when Jaden Ivey had the basketball, oftentimes you would have 4 guys on the floor with him that just naturally were, to your point, waiting to see what he was going to do. When Braden Smith has the ball in his hands, you have 4 guys that Braden Smith's waiting to see what they do so that he can facilitate and get the ball where it needs to be. And more often than not, that's obviously with Zach Edey, who has shown a remarkable, I think, more versatile movement offensively than he did even a year ago. I mean, listen, the guy for Purdue that deserves a ton of credit, is Brandon Brantley. His ability to continue to develop big men for Purdue is remarkable. Brandon Brantley was a good player. He's a great coach, clearly, because guys come through there and they absolutely develop as a big man for Matt Painter. They're fun to watch. They're balanced.
Yeah.
Guys like Caleb First, to your point, are making the extra pass. Guys like, Mason Gillis are hitting open shots, and they're distributing the ball, and they look like they enjoy playing with one another. And as of right now, long way to go, but what they've done that's huge is they have put themselves in position now where come March, assuming that the wheels don't fall off, they already have 3 really impressive, quote, quality wins for their resume that's going to help their seeding, assuming that they have a good season in the Big Ten.
So, Jay Quay, before I let you go, I want to bring up the Pacers. They play in L.A. against the Lakers tonight. Yesterday, I don't know if they just kind of climbed off the plane and off the bus and played yesterday, but they weren't into it. And I'm a huge Myles Turner supporter here, but I guess this team being, how should I put it, Zubotzed in the fashion in which they were yesterday, does that take away a lot of the goodness that Myles has had? I say no, but people basically tell me to go to hell when I say that and say all kinds of things to me and, call me an apologist and say I need to apologize. Now, these are numbnuts, and I really probably shouldn't consider it, but I'm asking you, somebody that's kind of an innocent bystander in all this, does that take away anything that has been accomplished so far with the way that they got Zubotzed in that game against the Clippers yesterday?
To me, it does not. And with Myles Turner, the people who are in charge were really curious to see what Myles Turner was going to be able to do in playing with Tyrese Halliburton. So you have to almost throw out some of the stuff, or the Myles Turner by reputation, that we've seen for years. I know that sounds crazy and it's contradictory to what I was saying earlier about the NFL. But they're playing at a different style and a different pace, and it fits Myles Turner. It fits the way he plays, and he has responded to it in all means by looking like a guy that you can run with and you need to keep around for a while. And I do think they should. Whether they do or not, I don't know. They're going to have to weigh whether or not they think that they are ready to be able to let this group grow together, or it needs a few more pieces. And if it needs a few more pieces, it probably comes at the expense of Myles Turner. But I am with you. I am with you in the fact that I've seen enough this year in terms of the way that he plays and the way that this particular group. Look, we've seen in the past, Andrew Bynum, when there were Pacer teams that were gelled together and unified and in it together, and then all of a sudden the front office got too cute for itself and it ruined the chemistry of the team. This team, one of the things that it has, aside from youth, is they really enjoy playing with each other. I really do believe that. And, yeah, that can only take you so far, but they also clearly have some talent, and it's young talent. So if they enjoy being around one another, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, I'm not saying that they are unbroken because they're young. But at the same time, I like the pieces that are there, and I think that they have enough pieces in terms of the draft in the next 2 years to complement it without totally blowing it up. And I'm curious to see where they go with it.
Hey, Jake, quick thing before I let you go. Do you think at all, if the Boilermakers, football-wise, get worked over by Michigan on Saturday, does it matter? At this point, are they playing with the proverbial house money in that game at Lucas Oil Stadium Saturday?
That's the term I used this morning, buddy. I mean, people are going to be excited to go down there and watch them. You know what I mean? Hey, I know of one house in Indianapolis. It's actually a house divided. I know of one house where one daughter went to Purdue and one daughter went to and two daughters went to Michigan, right? And I think they're probably still all rooting for Purdue because of the story. So the DeMarses might have two flags flying, but I think deep down they're all rooting for Purdue because it's a great story for Purdue. And certainly heart goes out to Aiden O'Connell. And just, the strength and all of that. But look, it's great for Purdue. It was a great weekend for Purdue athletics. It was as good a weekend for Purdue athletics as any college athletics program I've seen in this market in a long time.
I tell you what, it's needed around here too, because mostly it's been bad.
You ain't kidding.
And mostly we've been negative. And I tell everybody all the time, we get tired of being negative. I mean, at some point you want to be positive. And the Boilermakers let out a little positivity for us to all talk about today, which is nice.
Yep. Why we talked a lot about them this morning.
All right, tomorrow morning, 7 until 10 a.m., you guys will have that reaction of Monday Night Football. I didn't see it. Did you pick the Colts to win?
I believe I said 20-12 the Colts would win. I don't think Pittsburgh has enough points.
I think I picked the Colts, too. I haven't picked the Colts in a number of weeks, and I did tonight.
And of that 20, I think at least one score comes for the Colts from the defense.
23-20, I think is what I said. So, yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. All right. Buddy, I
there?
appreciate you. What's that?
All right. I'll see you down there.
You got it, man. It's Jake Query right there, the morning show, Kevin and Query, weekday mornings here on The Fan. Yeah, I'm here right now, but I'll be down there a little bit later on. Monday Night Football is in town. Now, that's all taking place downtown at 5:30. We're going to go to the Colts pregame huddle, and I will navigate, I will direct, I will guide the show along with the Gorman, Joe Wrights, and Bill Brooks. They're going to be in touch downtown. I'm going to be right here where I'm sitting right now, 116 in Oleo. Buffalo, Wild Wings, Blue Monday, Chargers, Colts tickets to give away, an autographed helmet, and I believe we've got some wrestling coming up too. What is that? Is it AEW? I think that's the Farmers Coliseum coming up as well. We got some of those tickets to give away as well. Plus, your chance to win Bullseye both tonight for the Monday Nighter, and then if you're a Boilermaker fan, for example, before that title game coming up on Saturday, got the opportunity for you to go to Bullseye to celebrate that pregame style. Going to have that opportunity coming up in just a bit. All right, top of the hour again. Ray Fittipaldo covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's going to join us. We'll talk about that and a lot more for you. Hey, we're live today in Fishers, 116 in Oleo. It is a Blue Monday with our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Don't go away.
Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, and I got to tell you, I see why. Since I started a testosterone replacement program with Affinity, my energy, mental focus, drive, everything is up, and the physical benefits are amazing. Check them out at feelgreatindy.com. Guys, you can improve the way you look, the way you feel. You can build muscle and lose fat. Affinity will give you the roadmap. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
Time to fire up your laptops for Cyber Monday savings, because the Home Depot has the tools to make your holiday magic with new savings every day. So start clicking and adding everything you need for the tech lovers in your life. Or grab one of our nailers, combo kits, or trimmers to surprise any doer on your list. Everything you need for the holidays is just a click away with free delivery on eligible online items. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
Sign up for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Come in for a free fitting, no appointment needed. The Good Feet store, in the north, near Keystone at the Crossing or in Greenwood.
Hey, it's John here for the best water possible. I got to give a shout out here, by the way, too. Yes, Joe and John and I, along with Blake, we were hanging out a little bit earlier, having a little bit of lunch, talking over the year to come with my friends at Connecticut. I love having them as a partner. I love having them as friends. And let me tell you this, you will love having the best water in your home right now. With the best deals going on just in time for the holiday season at the 2 Indy area locations of Connecticut. I'm telling you what, the best water possible, and the K5 in-home drinking water station for your level of hydration. It is, simply put, a game changer. Check it out. Just in time for the holiday season, the best prices of the year with my friends at Connecticut. Northeast side Castleton, south side US 31 and Southport Road, the Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Bowling, 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 keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
Make your plans now for a fun holiday party at any Royal Pin Entertainment Center. Treat your employees to a great time with bowling, appetizers from chips to heavy hors d'oeuvres, food packages from pizza to prime rib, and a wide range of party options from just bowling to laser tag, limitless VR, go-karts, arcade, and more. You can upgrade with adult beverages, craft beer, premium spirits, and frozen drinks. Want a custom party? Their sales team can make it happen. Reward your team for their hard work. Email events@royalpin.com or visit royalpin.com to book today.
Set them up, knock them down, send them flying, spinning round.
Hurry, space is filling up fast. That's royalpin.com.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling.
Royal Pin, bowling.
Hey, it's your good friend John here for BullseyeEventGroup.com. It's the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. You can pay your way in tonight. Walk in there, pay your way in. All you can eat, all you can drink before that Monday nighter. Do it before the Steelers and the Colts right across the street at Lucas Oil Stadium. You can do it inside the Bullseye Event Center. Plus this, Kyle Cadet got a hold of me. They're going to have a Bullseye Event Group party for you in front of that title tilt between the Boilermakers and the Wolverines coming up on Saturday night, 3 hours before the kick. How would you like to attend as a Boilermaker fan or maybe even a Michigan fan? I'm not sure. I'm assuming a Boilermaker fan. If you would like to go to that VIP tailgate before the championship game on Saturday, number 9 at 239-1070 is going to go on me right now. Again, that's for Saturday in front of that championship tilt in the Big Ten between the Boilermakers and the Wolverines. Get that VIP tailgate coming at you 3 hours before the kick at the Bullseye Event Center. Number 9 right now is a winner. And by the way, if you don't win, log on. Make sure you're there on Saturday. It's BullseyeEventGroup.com.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can help your engine run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner on sale now. Buy one, get one free, plus double O Rewards points. Get more fuel-saving tips from the professional parts people at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Auto Parts.
Hey, John for PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com. If you want your real growing hair again, that's just a phone call away. Do something about it. 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
Prepare for snow at the Mower Shop in Fishers with a new gas or electric Toro snowblower. Get ready for mower season next year with discounts on select Spartan mowers. 849-9500 at mowershop.com.
A place for players to play and so much more. Pick up USA Fitness Noblesville, a better way to play. PickUpUSAFitness.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, you gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something? I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, I can't thank you enough for being a part of this. It is a Blue Monday. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is the Fishers location. Not too far from Geis, 116 and Oleo. My man Billy is out there right now. We've got tickets to the Chargers-Colts game coming up later on this season. We've got an autographed helmet to give away. And we've got a lot for you, too. I do want to remind you of this. I'm going to bail, but not so much bail. At 5:30, this show ends, and then I'm going to take over the reins, as I normally do, for the Colts pregame huddle. I'll be here. I'll be directing. I'll be guiding. I'll be navigating for the Gorman and a couple of former Colts players, offensive lineman Joe Wrights and wide receiver Bill Brooks. They will be staked out in touchdown town for you, and I will make sure that their voices, opinions, and information and education gets from me to you in front of what is going to be a big Monday nighter. Monday Night Football is here in Indy tonight, so all the football world eyes will be on the Steelers and the Colts. And again, as we've talked about a little bit earlier, you look at this matchup, and although this Colts team, and really the Steelers for that matter, but certainly this Colts team not anywhere in the neighborhood where you had thought, where you had hoped they would be, And while all seems to be lost, as of yet it isn't. Now, if you lose tonight, it certainly is going to be. But what you would like to see, in not a playing for pride game, you would like to see a little bit of pride extended here. And not just for a quarter here or there, but how about coming close to playing as a complete game, which simply we have not seen this season. I mentioned this to Jake a little bit earlier when he was on. 7 of 8 quarters so far under Jeff Saturday. The Colts have played with a lead. They were just unable against the good team, one of the best teams in the NFL, to close it out against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles last week. They were able to do that in Vegas with a team that's not so good. Now you're going to see later on tonight another team that's not so good. So play 4 strong quarters of football. That's what I'm going to be looking for. And you know what? We're going to look for those that maybe aren't into it right now. I don't know how you wouldn't be into it right now, but maybe disappointment has prevailed. You'll look for those, and we'll talk about that coming up tomorrow. And no doubt, nobody is suggesting these guys are going to run off consecutive wins toward the end of the season and give themselves a legitimate chance. But as for tonight, Monday Night Football in front of everybody, you don't want to trip over your blank, I don't think, in front of everybody tonight, do you? And then you have a Steeler team coming in here that's had ownership of you over the years. How about putting something together and then beating a team that has, again, taken you to the woodshed over the years, and you haven't beat since going back to when your interim head coach was actually playing for this team? I don't think there's a lot to ask. Shouldn't be a lot to ask. Again, the Steeler team offensively is not anything that's going to scare you. Defensively, they're more like the old school Steelers. Defensively, they're more like what you believe you're going to see when you see a Steelers team. Not much else is with this group, but up front, they're talking about Highsmith. They're talking about Watt. Being able to get after the quarterback. And we sit back and we kind of watch this team. You know, it's easy to, I think, for us to sit here and say, well, you know what, they didn't come out and make any adjustments. You know, when that is said, normally I go, well, you probably wouldn't know an adjustment if it came up and kicked you in the ass, honestly. But it seems to me, as I talked to Jake about a little bit earlier, it's not like that they've exhausted all possibilities. I'm not talking about personnel, but I'm just talking about help. I'm talking about leaning here or there to not always leave, for example, your rookie left tackle hanging out there, or trying to find ways to be creative, to find a crease, a crevice, maybe develop a hole for your all-world running back who just hasn't put up the all-world numbers this year. It doesn't seem like that they've offensively exhausted enough. We'll see where they go with that in mind on Monday Night Football coming up later on tonight. And I guess there's the overall thought that it has been a consistent cry of, hey, Monday night primetime, stand alone, primetime. We deserve primetime. We haven't had primetime. Hasn't been here, since 2015 or whatever. Oftentimes it hasn't been earned. And really the play so far hasn't been earned either. So tonight, go out and earn it. Now, regardless of your situation, where you sit, the level of disappointment, but go out and earn it. And do that with this in mind, trying to keep your fans invested that are going to find other things to check out if this season continues to go in the direction that it has. Couple of thoughts. We'll come back with you on the other side as well. Top of the hour. It hasn't been a great season in the Steel City either by any stretch of the imagination. They are in an evolution process offensively with Kenny Pickett. We'll talk about the rookie quarterback of the Steelers, the offense of the Steelers, and, again, that defensive group up front that looks a lot like what we expect it to look with Pittsburgh in mind. Ray Fittipaldo covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's going to be here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. 116 at Oleo, that's where we are right now. The great food, the fantastic service, and Monday Night Football. Ice-cold Bud Light, great food, Buffalo Wild Wings, Blue Monday. Chargers, Colts tickets, autographed helmet to give away, and more, and some wrestling tickets as well. Don't go anywhere. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
107.5 The Fan is your one-stop shop for the Indianapolis sports fan. Colts, Pacers, IU, and insights from Kevin Bowen, JMV, Dan Dockett, Jake Quinn, for Indy Sports. 1075thefan.com.
There's never been a better time for football fans to join the huddle with BetMGM. Sign up today and place a $10 pregame wager on any pro football team to win. If any player scores a touchdown in any pro football game, you'll win $200 in free bets, regardless of your wager's outcome. Just use the bonus code THEFAN200. That's all one word, capital T, capital F, when you make your first bet. Get on the field and find out why nothing beats a win at BetMGM. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. And again, use that bonus code THEFAN200 to win $200 in free bets if any player scores a touchdown in any pro football game. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, everybody, we've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident, there's a painful life-altering injury, huge medical bills, and even wrongful death. In fact, all from someone else's fault, and some of you may be dealing with that right now. And that's where the attorneys at Paul Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin, they're going to lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. Now, none of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by super lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. So even if you're unsure you have a case, give Paul Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experience legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parinjury.com. That's PARRinjury.com.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
PAI, it's WeGrowHairIndy.com. Your real growing hair again. Just a phone call away at 888-724-5129. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Kevin Reinhardt says this family-owned business has a lot of pride in their work.
Danny started the business back in 1986 here in Danville, and we take a lot of pride in the town of Danville with a lot of repeat customers, people that I've known basically all my life. And it's just nice to continue to do the service that they trust for over 30 years.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at SalvationArmyIndiana.org.
Hellsberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Hellsberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Hellsberg near you or at Hellsberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The Colts host the Steelers on Monday Night Football. Pre-game on the Fan at 5:30 with the game on 97.1 Hank FM.
The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to a Blue Monday. Buffalo Wild Wings, 116 and Olio. I got stuff to give away. Chargers, Colts tickets, an autographed Colts helmet, Monday Night Football tonight, Steelers and the Colts. Again, I'm going to take you up until, I believe this goes to countdown to kickoff, and then obviously from that point on, you're going to catch the game. This is Monday Night Football. Again, this is the Steelers and the Colts on Hank FM. Now, granted, you can catch them every single game on Hank FM, but I guess is what we would call, I know everybody kind of uses, especially news around here in the TV world, they always say exclusive. Exclusive this and exclusive that. I guess this is not normally exclusive to Hank FM because it's on Hank FM every single Sunday. But it is where you can find the game. That's 97.1 Hank FM. Coming up later on tonight, you've got the Pacers on the road against the Lakers tonight, 10 p.m. The pregame show begins. 10:30 is that tip from Los Angeles, and that can be heard right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Just so you know, JB writes this, hey, JMV, are you going to hit up Schefter tonight at the game? Here's what I want you to do. Since Schefter's down there on the field, you guys, shout my name at him and see if you get a response. Is that bad, Kyle? Should I do that or not? I think they should shout my name at him.
He'll
if
probably
you
just
see
ignore.
Schefter on the field,
He'll probably just act like he has no idea who you are.
Yeah, he doesn't. He'll soak it up. He'll love it. Just say, hey, Schefter, where's JMV? Talk to JMV. Hey, JMV. Do that. I mean, try not to be a crank about it, or any more of a crank than me telling you to do it, I guess. But try not to be a crank about it. But, yeah, just yell at him down on the field, courtesy of me, if you get close enough. And then let me know if you get a response. If you don't get a response, then so be it. If you do, then we'll have fun with it. I also wanted to get to this because somebody brought it up. It was, a good weekend for IU soccer, as it normally is. But the IU women's basketball team playing in that ballroom in Las Vegas on a court, on that court was ridiculous. And I know that the same thing, except to a better degree of craftsmanship, putting together the whole facility, for example, in the Bahamas, because they also play, I think, in a hotel ballroom. A lot of these tournaments do that, but that looked like something that was just hastily and completely half-assed put together. And there's no doubt that anybody's going to deserve better than that. I mean, if I'm going out there, with the dudes I played with yesterday at Perry Meridian in the morning, then okay, we'll play on that, and it sounds fun. But if you're a legitimate, and especially if you're any type of top 10 women's program right now, can you do a little bit better than that? Can you not? I mean, it's almost like you just put together some squares of cardboard and you put it out there and, hey, we're going to put some lawn chairs around it. Most of us played in a better facility if you made something like that up at your house. So your house, and I know a lot of you out there, especially if you're well off, a lot of you have these places in your home. If your gymnasium is better in your home right now than what, for example, IU and Auburn played in over the Thanksgiving holiday, then that's a bad sign. You got to do better than that. You simply have to do better than that. Quick break and we'll come back. His name is Ray Fittipaldo. He covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. The one thing reminiscent of these Steeler teams of the past, and especially those that have held ownership over the Colts, is what they bring up front. We'll talk about that with Ray, about this evolving offense with a rookie quarterback, that and more coming up at the top of the hour. Buffalo Wild Wings, 116 and Olio and Fishers. It is a Blue Monday. Also with our friends with the ice-cold Bud Light, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Colts haven't beaten the Steelers since Jeff Saturday was snapping the ball in a Colts uniform. Now, Colts Coach Saturday is back, looking to win Pittsburgh's 7-game win streak against the boys on Monday Night Football. Hear the pregame beginning at 5:30 on the Fan. Then, because of the Pacers-Lakers game, catch the Colts game on our sister station 97.1 Hank FM at 8:15. And follow the best Colts coverage at 1075thefan.com.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your trusted choice in Central Indiana. For over 30 years, we've treated all walks of life, from peewees to professionals and Olympians, and everyone in between. Schedule at any of our 21 convenient locations, even without a doctor's order. Indiana Physical Therapy is cost-effective, accepting all insurance plans and networks. We're open from 7 to 7 and can get you in the same day you call. Go to indianapt.com.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
Hey, let me tell you this. I mentioned, putting together a place to play basketball that's unacceptable. Let me give you a place that is acceptable, that is great. And it is great for all of us because we're in a constant search for a place to play pickup basketball. And I've got it for you in and around Noblesville. Have you heard about it? Have you seen it? Have you participated? That's Pickup USA Fitness in Noblesville. They've got courts ready for you right now. And every night after 6 o'clock, they go into pickup basketball mode, and these things are reffed up too. You'll love it. Now, they have everything for you as well, a huge weight room, cardio, a training facility, a half court with Dr. Dish, and a place where the kids can also refine their skill set. If you love basketball, you're going to love this place. And the pre-sale memberships are starting at just $39.99 right now. You're never going to be without a pickup game. Again, if you love hoop, it is pickupusafitness.com today. Sign up and make sure. pickupusafitness.com. That's Pickup USA Fitness, Noblesville. A better way to play.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Start a new career with a job that keeps your community safe. The Marion County Sheriff, Carrie Forrestal, is hiring detention deputies to work in the brand new Community Justice Center. You'll supervise and guard offenders, making Marion County a better place to live. Starting pay begins at around $40,000 a year with a $5,000 signing bonus. Enjoy great benefits like complete health coverage and pension plan. Start your career as a detention deputy and earn the respect of your community. Apply today at joinmcso.indy.gov.
Open enrollment for health insurance is underway and ends January 15th. Eskenazi Health understands this can be a confusing process. That's why Eskenazi Health is here for you, to assist you in understanding your health insurance options and also help with questions surrounding Medicaid eligibility under the COVID-19 public health emergency, which may end soon. Simply go to eskenazihealth.edu or call 1-855-202-1053 to request your telehealth appointment or to get more information.
Hey, Johnny for LD Smith Plumbing. Oh, yeah, this reminder. The best in plumbing. Sometimes it happens. And you know what? Normally, 100% of the time, you're not ready. I'm preparing you right now in case something strikes, something unforeseen with your plumbing. 317-927-7186. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. Now, if you're thinking about your plumbing needs, anything at all, my friend Lance has you covered. But I'm also preparing you for what might be, what could be, especially since we are embarking on the cold winter season ahead. Keep this number handy at all times. 317-927-7186. The best in plumbing in Central Indiana. Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing online. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
On Wednesday, November 30th, the hottest ticket in town. AEW makes the return to the Indiana Farmers Coliseum at the Indiana State Fairgrounds for its only live show of the year. AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage promise to be one of the biggest events of the year. Don't miss Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, MJF, I'm a generational talent, Saraya,
The Revolution.
John Moxley.
Get in the ring with me. It's dangerous as all hell.
Ryan Danielson. Claudio Castagnoli. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jamie Hayter. Eddie Kingston. Orange Cassidy. The Acclaimed.
Everyone love the Acclaimed.
Swerve in Our Glory. Jade. FTR.
Top guys out
Tony Storm, Wardlow, Chris Jericho, and the Jericho Appreciation Society.
And that's entertainment.
Darby Allin, Sting, and many more will be there live. Oh! Don't miss AEW Live at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Tickets make a great holiday gift and are on sale right now. Go to AEWTIX.com now. Card subject to change.
Right now, buy 4 Ultimate washes and get 2 free, available online or at any Crew Car Wash location. Plus, get a free bonus wash now through November 30th.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB, WIBC HD3 W228CX, Indianapolis. The Colts host the Steelers on Monday Night Football. Pre-game on The Fan at 5:30 with the game on 97.1 Hank FM.
The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Having a blast like we are. We're at 116 in Oleo. Buffalo Wild Wings, Blue Monday. Chargers Colts tickets to give away, an autographed helmet to give away. And I am going to do the Colts pregame huddle coming up in less than 30 minutes. I'm going to direct. I'm going to navigate. I am going to host from here and down in Touchdown Town. That's in Touchdown Town, outside of Lucas Oil Stadium, will be the Gorman and a couple of former Colts. Offensive lineman Joe Wrights, wide receiver Bill Brooks. The Colts pregame huddle coming at you, bottom of the hour right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. And remember, we switch over. 97.1 Hank FM has the game tonight. The Steelers-Colts matchup on Monday Night Football. It's 97.1 Hank FM. Now, 93.5 and 107.5 at 10 p.m., goes to Pacer pregame. The Pacers out west, that's number 2 of 7 on this 2-week-long Western road swing. It is LeBron and the Lakers hosting the Pacers tonight. Again, 10 p.m. is the pregame show, and 10:30 is that tip time. Joining us now via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Ray Fittipaldo, who's, I guess, already inside Lucas Oil Stadium. He's waiting for some things to start right now. Ray, thank you for the time. How are you?
Excellent. How are you tonight?
Fantastic. We're spread all over the place, but that's one of the enjoyments you get when you love sports like we do. We get spread a little bit thin, but that is good. I'm curious. I guess I described the Steelers this season as follows a little bit earlier. There's not a lot that is reminiscent of those Steeler teams that have had ownership of the Colts over the recent history, and certainly the longer-term past as well. But one of those that remains to be true is their ability to rush the quarterback, which has been a thorn in the side all season long for the Colts. Are they still doing that at a vintage type of Steeler level this season?
No, not at a vintage Steelers type of level. And the reason for that was T.J. Watt missed almost 2 months because of pectoral and knee injuries. Tonight is his 3rd game back, and I would suspect they'll get back to being more of that Steelers type of defense. But no, the sacks have not been there, and as a result, the turnovers haven't been there. You know, in years past, you know, the Steelers would rush the passer. They would create strip sacks. They would force quarterbacks into quicker decisions, and that really hasn't been the case this year. So they're hoping with a healthy T.J. Watt down the stretch that maybe their luck can change and they can get a few more wins here in the 2022 season.
Hey, Ray, 2 things for you, too. How has it looked since T.J. Watt has returned? And then the other, I kind of look at this Steeler team as I did the Colts. They got after – obviously, and handled a weak defensive front that the Raiders threw at them, but have been really unable to handle the better defensive fronts for a variety of reasons, protecting Matt Ryan over the course of the season. T.J. Watt, how has he looked, and then how would you expect them to look up front against what has been a disheveled most of the time offensive line of the Colts?
Yeah, well, TJ has looked good. I thought La'el Collins from the Bengals did a really good job on him last week. TJ had a half a sack, and he missed another sack. So he played well, but I thought Collins did a really good job on him. So the Colts, as you mentioned, haven't been as good protecting the quarterback this year. And it's not just TJ Watt. You know, Cam Hayward is now 33 years old, but he's still playing at a really high level. Larry Ogunjobi, another defensive tackle, has been up and down this year because of injuries, but he's finally looking like, he's healthier. And then on the other side, Alex Highsmith is among the NFL leaders in sacks with 8.5. Now, he does get a lot of his sacks because there's so much attention paid to T.J. Watt, but he's good enough to take advantage of those one-on-ones. And, he did that again last week. He was credited with a half a sack against the Bengals. So, as I said, with T.J. back, it's a very formidable front. They're going to get after the Colts in the pass rush today, and that's why they thought going into this game, with Jeff Saturday now in charge, with Jonathan Taylor being more of a focal point, they have to stop the run. If they could stop the run in this game, and they can get Matt Ryan in situations where he has to pass the ball, they feel like that'll be an advantage for them.
This has become a transitionary type of season, certainly in Pittsburgh. Was this along the lines at all as to what was expected, the level of play throughout the season so far?
Well, their hope was, rookie quarterback, young and rebuilding offense. They were hoping that the defense could carry them and that the defense could maybe get them in position where they could be a playoff contender, but that just hasn't happened. They're 28th in the league in total defense. I think they're 26th in scoring. And injuries have played a huge part in this. It's not just T.J. Watt. They've had injuries in the back end. Akello Witherspoon, a starting corner for them, is going to miss another game tonight. He's missed 6 of the past 7 now. And they've just been kind of decimated by injuries in the secondary. And just, I know the Colts aren't really built for this, but teams have really been able to take advantage of them in the passing game. Last week, Joe Burrow had 355 yards and 4 touchdowns. And, the Eagles, I think, threw 4 touchdown passes against them about a month ago. And, it's been those one of those types of years for the Steelers secondary where the injuries have just caught up with them. So we'll see what the Colts can do tonight. I know they want to establish Jonathan Taylor. I know he's been big for them in the 2 games since Saturday took over. I would expect that to continue, but I also know that they watch film too, and they know that Steelers secondary has been exposed, and I'm sure they're going to want to take their shots down the field as well.
He is Ray Fittipaldo, covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's with us in the press box from Lucas Oil Stadium, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So the good and the bad of Kenny Pickett, and how much of what you've seen from the rookie quarterback was expected once he was handed over the reins of that offense?
Well, the good, he's very athletic. He's mobile. He could make plays with his feet. He's good scrambling in the pocket and creating time for himself. And the bad is just what you would expect with any rookie at quarterback. Reading coverages, recognizing disguises from defensive coordinators. He's just not there yet. And listen, that happens to every young quarterback in this league. People in Indianapolis are very familiar with Peyton Manning's rookie year, and then, all of a sudden, year 2, year 3, then, things slow down, and the Steelers are expecting things to slow down for him, just probably not this season. So, rookie growing pains. I think everyone sort of expected it, but I think the one thing he does is he does make plays with his feet now. He's had over 50 yards running in 2 games this season, so he's been really good in that respect. So that's one thing the Colts defense is going to have to be aware of tonight.
I'm curious, George Pickens, the rookie wide receiver, he was somebody that we had talked about because, every single season all I do is spend like 3 hours a day talking about wide receivers that the Colts should draft. Now, they drafted Alec Pierce, who I think everybody likes around here, but 33 for 453 and 2 touchdowns this season. What has been the thought on George Pickens as a rookie wide receiver in Pittsburgh?
He had a tremendous training camp, tremendous preseason, and the talent is there. It's just a matter of finding that chemistry in the passing game with a rookie quarterback. So I think if you put George Pickens on a team with an established quarterback, he'd probably be leading the league in receiving. He is that kind of a talent. He fell to the second round. There were some issues at Georgia. I'm sure people are well aware of what those were, but the Steelers have had no problems with him. He's a young guy, but he's had the opportunity to work with Kenny Pickett really since the spring. And they both kind of worked themselves up from second and third teamers in training camp Pickett wasn't the starter here until week 4, so they kind of have that chemistry going where they could fall back on what they did during the summer. And, unfortunately for the Steelers, they didn't have that opportunity with number 1 receiver Deontay Johnson and some of the other guys in the passing game. So Kenny Pickett is having to learn on the run with those guys, and that's why you quite haven't seen the production that they need right now in the passing game. But Pickett and Pickens, as long as those guys stay healthy, I think that's going to be a combination you hear a lot about in the years to come.
Is that something you could see? I mean, have there been moments that are great examples with them hooking up where you can see, a level of elite play between quarterback and wide receiver for years to come there in Pittsburgh?
Undoubtedly. George Pickens is a freak of an athlete. I watched him all summer make plays that, quite frankly, you just don't see in the NFL all that often. So, I think once the chemistry develops, and listen, the offensive line hasn't been good either, so you need protection to throw the ball down the field. George Pickens is that type of player. He needs to, win on those 30 and 40-yard routes down the field. So once the protection gets better, once Kenny Pickett gets better, that's when you're going to see George Pickens take off. He's already having a good season. I think he's third among rookie receivers in the league in yards. He's got 3 touchdowns. I know Pierce maybe has 4. There might be one other rookie who has more, but he's putting up production in less than ideal circumstances. I think you're going to see the best George Pickens in years to come.
Ray Fittipaldo covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He's down at Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings and Fishers. That's 116 in Oleo on a Blue Monday here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This may be a silly question to ask because I certainly haven't heard anything, but obviously I don't live in the bubble that you do in covering the Steelers in Pittsburgh. But how have the fans been with this disappointing season, the transition in terms of their view of Mike Tomlin and his leadership?
Yeah, well, I think any time, you're a winning organization like the Steelers, and, the Colts have certainly been this over the years as well, there's going to be, some criticism of the head coach when things go sour. But I think most fans who understand the situation, right, a rookie quarterback, rebuilding offensive line, injuries on defense, I think, not that you can explain away the 3-7 record, but there are certainly reasons why they've struggled to this point. So, Mike Tomlin is in no danger of losing his job. He's got a job with the Steelers, pretty much as long as he wants one. But yeah, I think when you have a spoiled fan base, a team that expects to be in the playoffs every year, these kinds of years are difficult. But again, they're expected when you're moving on from a guy like Ben Roethlisberger to a rookie like Kenny Pickett.
Well, what's funny about that too is, and you get this in the media, but certainly you get this in the world of social media and fans. There probably hasn't been a lot of reason to go at Mike Tomlin for the product that's been on the field in Pittsburgh forever. And then once you get the opportunity, right, people take advantage of that opportunity. And, whether or not it's the coach's fault, it's just this transition situation they're in this world of social media, they take advantage of that opportunity when it's given, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And, the one reason he is hearing it a lot more from fans this year is, number one, he's a guy who cut his teeth as a defensive coach in this league, and this defense has really underperformed. You look at T.J. Watt. I think before Aaron Donald signed that big deal, he was the highest paid defensive player in the league. They have a defense that's making it's the highest paid defense in the league. They pay those guys more than $100 million, and they haven't performed up to the standards that everyone thought was going to happen this year. And it's not only Mike Tomlin. You got Brian Flores, who was brought on staff this year. They thought Brian was going to be a bigger factor and maybe help them become a dominant defense. You got Terrell Austin, who's been a longtime coordinator in this league for the Lions and the Bengals and a couple of other teams. And he's a guy who has a lot of expertise. But, for whatever reason, whether it's the injuries or, it's what maybe some teams kind of figured out the Achilles heel of the Steelers defense, it just hasn't worked this year. So, we'll see if Watt's presence down the stretch can maybe get them back to being that dominant type of defense that they expected. But like I said, through the first 10 games of the season, it certainly hasn't looked like it thus far.
Hey, Ray, would this team have been able to offensively navigate it to at least challenge within the division? Be more of a threat within the division of the AFC had the defense not experienced injuries and ineffective play? Or would this offense still take a lot more than certainly what they're going to be able to give defensively?
Yeah, I don't think they would have been a playoff contender. I think they're 3-7 now. If their game plan would have worked, right, dominant defense, score enough points to win, I think the best they could expect to be right now is probably 5-5. And in the end, in the AFC, I don't know that 9-8 is going to be enough to get you into the playoffs this year. There are so many good teams in this conference that are just knocking each other off every single week. So I think for the Steelers, it was going to be a transition year all along. It's kind of been a tougher transition year than they expected because of what's going on the defense. And again, the hope next year is defense comes back, the nucleus is intact. None of these guys are free agents. All their important guys are under contract. So the hope is get back to being a dominant defense again next year. Kenny Pickett, in year 2, you continue to build around him, and then maybe next year you can get back on track to where you're a playoff contender again.
He's Ray Fittipaldo, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Monday Night Football is the Steelers and the Colts coming up later on tonight. I did want to get to this because, historically speaking, Pittsburgh plays defense and they also run the football. Najee Harris in year number 2, how has that been with his 550 and 3 TDs and under 4 yards per carry? What's the viewpoint in Pittsburgh with that in mind?
Yeah, he had a Liz Frank injury in training camp, missed almost all of training camp. And while he's played in every game this season, I think that injury really took a toll on his play early in the season. He wasn't decisive in his cuts. I think more recently he's been better. And I think, again, I talked about the offensive line being a young offensive line and really trying to come into its own. It's not there yet, not in pass protection, and certainly not in the running game. So, it's interesting. You look at this offense. You have Kenny Pickett. You have Najee Harris. You have Pickens. You have a good young tight end in Pat Freiermuth, who I think is probably one of the top 10 tight ends in the NFL. They have the pieces around him to make it work. But again, the infrastructure, the lines of scrimmage, that's where the Steelers have to focus, on the draft here in a few months. I think they need a franchise left tackle. They could use a guard. And they could probably use a center down the road too. So it's going to be an important year for this team. Once February kicks in, they have to rebuild this offensive line. The Colts know this. The Steelers know this over the years. That's how you build championship teams. And right now, they just don't have a championship caliber offensive line.
What's funny about this, Ray, is you mentioned Freiermuth, and it's almost like that they construct these Steeler tight ends in a factory, and they just kind of roll them off the assembly line. These guys, you go back to Heath Miller, guys like that. It seems like these guys are all the same with a high level of production, and you can honestly count on what you're going to get.
Yeah, he is very reminiscent of Heath Miller in the passing game. I will say Heath Miller was so well-rounded. I think Heath was a better blocker than Pat is, but I think that's also just a byproduct of how the college game is now, and I don't think any of these tight ends coming out now are really well-versed in run blocking. But, Pat's getting there. If you look at the stats, I think he's number 1 or number 2 among Steelers receivers, both in targets and in catches and yards. And he's just been very productive for them. And I'll say the same thing about Pat that I said about George. I think the best for him is yet to come. Build that offensive line up, let Kenny Pickett sort of learn how it works, and that guy's going to put up a 1,000-yard season pretty soon here. He is a very talented, very smart, very tough football player, and I think his best football is yet to come as well.
You bring up a great point, too, because obviously left tackle and addressing the offensive line in the offseason is a need, but quarterback of the future, running back, once he's completely healthy and gets back on track, you got the tight end, and then you got an ever-evolving – what many people believe to be maybe one of these days elite-level wide receiver in the NFL. So there are reasons to feel good, even in a disappointing season record-wise, and what Steeler fans are seeing right now.
Absolutely, and I'll be back here in, February or March for the Combine. I'll be talking about all the offensive tackles and all the things that they need to get back on track in 2023. So should be a fun off season. It's funny, we're barely in December yet. It's still November, and I think both the Colts and the Steelers are looking forward to the Combine and what they have to do to get better next season.
Yeah, that kind of makes you sick. I wish you hadn't brought that up. Why'd you bring that up, Ray? I was feeling all good about it, and then you brought that up. So, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you done for jumping on here, too. Again, Ray Fittipaldo, you can find him at RayFit1, who does a great job in covering the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Ray, enjoy the Monday night game down there, and I'm assuming that one of these days, relatively soon, we'll do it again. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Ray Fittipaldo right there, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Buffalo Wild Wings. We are in Fishers today, by the way, 116 in Oleo. Next week on a Blue Monday, we're in Greenfield. So next week in Greenfield for this show, what has been really, these Mondays have been great. So we're going to start a run now of these Buffalo Wild Wings locations where next week we go to Greenfield. The week after that, we go to Franklin. There's a Shelbyville mixed in. There's also a Columbus, Indiana that's going to be mixed in. And I think we come back to Indy, I think, for the final one of the season. But for those of you that go, hey, man, you never get out here, you never go here, we are seriously Greenfield next week, and then further down the road, once we get into the tail end of the season and the final month of the season, we're going to be in Shelbyville, we're going to be in Franklin, we're going to be in Columbus. It is going to be a fantastic time in doing so. Cannot wait to see everybody out there for that. We have an autographed Colts helmet to give away. We have tickets to see the Chargers and the Colts also to give away. And this reminder, tomorrow's show is going to be not so far away. I'm going to be at the Ale, basically across the street, 116, right across the street tomorrow. And here's why. I'm going to be there for the Indy 11. Tomorrow, not only are we going to recap Monday Night Football tonight, obviously the Steelers and the Colts, we'll recap the Pacers and the Lakers tonight too, but tomorrow you got a either win or you're done situation for the Americans. USA and Iran coming up tomorrow at 2 in the World Cup, and what I think has been outstanding. I mean, you talk about some entertainment value. I have been highly entertained by the World Cup so far, and tomorrow it is a large contest, to say the least, and we'll be there for you with our friends from the Indy 11 right across the street at the Ale Emporium up here in Geist. That's coming up tomorrow. I'd love to see you out there. We'll recap this game, of course. As I mentioned, recap the Pacers and the Lakers. That is game 2 of their 7-game Western Road Swing coming at you later on tonight. That game can be heard right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Keep that in mind. And as I mentioned, we are going to be here coming up. Oh, what is this right here? Oh, who is that? Oh, yeah, I got you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, what did I say? I'm sorry. Later on tonight, you're going to be able to make the switch here. 97.1 Hank FM for the Monday Night Football game between the Steelers and the Colts. So we'll take you right here up until the game, and then obviously 97.1 Hank FM. But you guys are used to that anyway. All right, more to come from the Buffalo Wild Wings location right here in Fishers 116 in Oleo. We're going to give away the autographed helmet and the tickets, but we also bring in the Gorman, Joe Wrights and Bill Brooks, the Colts pregame huddle. All the insight you need, 2 large locations. They're staked out in Touchdown Town. We bring them to you coming up on the other side. The Colts pregame huddle, Monday Night Football in Indy, and we got it all for you next right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Don't go anywhere.
The Colts haven't beaten the Steelers since